My name is Dr. Schuessler. Welcome to my CIS project, CIS 551 project management class. Usually I like to have a couple of introductory videos, one for Blackboard, kind of introducing you to our Blackboard shell, and one to the syllabus. So this is the first one. This one's about Blackboard. It's kind of to help show you around if you're new to Tarleton. We use Blackboard, and everybody kind of creates their course shells a little bit differently. If you've not had me, kind of the same thing. Again, they're just all different depending on who the instructor is that's teaching the class. So that's kind of the purpose behind this, is to show you around. That way, hopefully, you won't run into any hiccups along the way. So we're in student view, so this is pretty much what you should see if you first log into Blackboard. Depending on the courses that you're registered for, you should see this under My Courses. You should see CIS 551.01x, etc. Click it, and you'll go on in. And here in a little bit, this video here will be posted right here. The video that I'm creating right now will be posted right here. And then a few minutes later, I'll post this one right here. This is our homepage. The Twitter feed will go live after that. There's an issue with the Twitter feed that has to be the last thing done, so I'll get that done. And then down here at the bottom, we have the technical assistance information and the acceptable use policy for using Tarleton technology. So take a look at those. Contact the help desk folks if you have any questions. They're really great over there. They can do just about anything that you need them to do over the phone. Worst comes to worst, they can remote into your machine. It takes them a few minutes, and they're done pretty quick. So take advantage of that if you're having any issues. As far as the navigation structure, over here to the left is everything that you're going to need. This is our home page, so it'll bring us back to this page right here. The syllabus is right there. It's a Google Doc, something I've really kind of gotten into recently, and well, for a while now, is cloud-based stuff, but more recently, specifically Google Docs and things like that. So this is my first semester to really rely on Google Docs quite a bit for class-related activities. So I started with the syllabus and created a Google Doc. So it's just a link to a shared document there, so you can take a look at it. Contact information up there. We'll go through that in the other video, so I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. But essentially it's available there, and you can do whatever it is you need to do. Course lectures and lessons, I don't have a lot for this class. There is just a little bit. This here I'll probably delete. This is like a previous Blackboard introduction, and you can take a look at it if you want. The course shell has changed a little bit. I'm constantly trying to upgrade and update and things like that. So there's also you gotta log in. I'm in the wrong role for that, so I can't do that. But you'll be able to log into that. It's a project management class. If you want to learn a little bit about Microsoft Project, you can certainly go through that lesson there. As far as the deliverables, this is the stuff that most people are interested in, and we'll talk about it more when we talk about the syllabus. But there are the assessments right here. The assessments consist of various quizzes, pre-tests, post-tests, etc. So the very first thing is an assessment pre-test. All you have to do is take it, and it doesn't really matter what you get on it. I want you to do as best you can, but don't freak out if you don't do particularly well on it. If you take it, you get 5 points. If you don't get those points. But it's basically a way for me to assess your understanding of project management coming into the class. It will be compared to a post-test that will pop up during the last week down here at the very bottom. And so I'll be able to compare your scores to see how you did, how much you've improved over the course of the semester. One of the things that students frequently have trouble with is figuring out, not so much determining their specific grades, but determining the questions that they got right versus the questions that they got wrong. On a previous semester, I had a student that had a similar issue, and he finally figured it out. And fortunately, he created a video to illustrate how you go about checking those specific items. And so I posted a link to that video right here. Here's the very first quiz, quiz 0. So there's a total of 13 quizzes, including quiz 0. Quiz 0 is over the syllabus. It should be a quick, easy quiz. Print the syllabus out, read through the syllabus, have it next to you when you take the assessment, and that should be an easy grade. Assignments are posted here, and again, I'm relying on Google Docs quite a bit this semester. So the very first assignment is a course information sheet, assignment 0. So I want you to log in, open up the assignment, go ahead and enter your information. In this particular case, it's CIS 551, your student ID, last name, certain fields are required, things like that. What's your major? Also, there's a couple of assessments down here that I'm basically trying to determine what your level of proficiency is with respect to technology and with respect to business. And so this is going to help me create groups later on, and I'll talk about that a little bit later and in the syllabus video. So that is under assignments. Let me go back to so you can see some of the other assignments. For the homework for this semester, we're using something that's put out by Harvard Business Publishing. It's basically a simulation product, and everything's done through their website. You have various parameters that you're going to adjust, a project that you're going to manage. Essentially, it's the creation of a printer. You're manufacturing a printer, and you're given a scenario in which you've got a competitor that you're trying to beat to market. You're trying to upstage in one way or another, and you make various decisions over the course of the simulation to be able to manage that project. And essentially, we're going to run that 3 different times. There's scenario A, which is the simplest. There's not a lot of curves thrown at you or anything like that. Scenario C, which is kind of intermediate, somewhere in between. There's a few little hiccups along the road. And then scenario F, which is the last assignment that's due, the last simulation. And it is probably much more realistic in terms of a project that you would have to manage and things that would pop up over the course of a project. It talks about your R&D team is working on refining this product. The team is you. You are the project manager of a team, but this is not a group assignment with other peers in the class. What I want you to do, though, is keep in mind what you're doing in each scenario, because you're going to be posting to the discussion board these participation opportunities, discussing what your experiences were. What did you like? What did you not like? What worked? What didn't work? And the goal is that by sharing, we'll all learn a little bit more about project management and some of the things that work and don't work. So those participation opportunities are here. They're all already posted. You can't really work ahead too much in these, but you can certainly try to see what's going to be coming up. There's the introductions you can see. A few people have already posted introductions. If you have any questions, be sure and post them there. I don't usually respond to those immediately. I usually wait a few days to encourage other students to answer those questions, especially if it's a topic-related question. It's not course mechanics related. It's topics related, then I really like for other students to try to answer the question, because I think you learn a lot more when you have to teach a topic than you do when you're just taking a class. So I try to encourage other students to answer some of those questions. And then there's the various participation opportunities that you'll see here, and they're kind of a mix between discussing how you did on one of the simulations and your end of semester project that we'll talk about here in just a second. There's a few different stages in which the semester project is submitted and is turned in, and those are essentially rough drafts. And I encourage you to, I don't encourage, it's required, it's part of this process, to post those in the discussion board for your peers to be able to see. So what will happen is there will be a week in which rough draft is due, and the following week it will be due for you to submit to the discussion board, the appropriate discussion board. So say for example, let's see, this PO1 is the very first one. So whoever the leader of your group is, you're going to open this up, you're going to create a, I can't really go through this too much myself because I'm in demo mode, but you'll essentially go through this, you'll create a thread that is your team name. So the name of the thread should be the name of your project. You're free to change the name throughout. It's just really designed to help tell everybody what the project is. You'll post what you had submitted the previous week in terms of your semester project, and that'll allow the other teams to look at what you guys are doing and how your project is progressing. The idea being that by seeing how your peers are doing, it should give you ideas on things that you can do to improve your group's project. And that's really the idea behind that. So the POs, the participation opportunities, are a mix of that and posting your individual work on the simulations. So kind of differs depending on the week. This last one, be sure and be aware of the different date. That's due to the final exam being that week. It's an odd week, so be aware of that. Semester project. So here's the semester project. Essentially, as a group, I'm going to take that assessment data that I gather in pretest, and I will create teams based on a mix of your technical and more business-oriented skills, and that mixture will, usually produces pretty good results. Some of the topics that you have at your that you can pick are posted right there. I don't want any duplication, so it's first come, first serve. I'll post which team gets which topic. So pick one of these topics as quickly as you can as a team, and you won't have the team until after the first week. But once I post the teams, any member is free to snag a topic. If you decide you want another topic, your team agrees that there's another topic that you guys would like to examine, by all means, feel free. Let me know, and I'll tell you whether or not it's appropriate. I'll add it to the list for future semesters. But these are the ones that I'm really kind of interested in you guys pursuing. This stays here all the time. This is just for information purposes. The projects themselves are down here. The proposal itself. The proposal is the first submission. There's two parts to it. There's the proposal itself, which is submitted as a link to a Google Doc. It's worth 80%. The other 20% is your peer evaluation, which is right here. So I'm basically right in here telling you the information that I want on the proposal. If you'll click on the assignment and open it up. If you've had me before, I've usually used a rubric. However, I've usually used a paper-based rubric, or I say paper-based, software-based, but I have not used the integrated rubrics within Blackboard. So this is the first semester I'm using the Blackboard rubric. So you can open that up and you can really kind of see specifically what it is that you're going to be graded on. So that's the very first rough draft is worth 25 points. So the proposal itself is worth 20. The peer evaluation down here is worth 5. So again, you open that up. You can look right here, and you can see your name. Enter your name. If your name is not there for some reason, let me know. I just need to add it to the database. I added them fairly early on, and if somebody drops or something or adds late, then it would be in there. And then your peers. Be sure to do this each time. You're going to do this multiple times. You're going to do it once for each member in your group and once for yourself. So be sure to do that. Which phase of the project? Is it the first submission, the second submission, or the final submission? This particular scale is based on time. How much time did they commit to the project? If you score them a 1 or you score them a 5, I need you to provide some narrative. Give me some specifics about why they spent a lot of time or why they spent so little time. I want you to score them a 1 or a 5 if that's what they deserve. But keep in mind this does impact their grade. In this case it's 5 points, but in the later submissions it's worth more points. So be aware of that. I'll attach the rubric to that one too, just so you can see that. You can actually see the rubric in here too. Revision 1, exact same format. There's the link to the Google Doc itself. There's peer evaluations. There are more points this time. It's worth 75 points, so the project itself is worth 60 points, and the peer evaluation is worth 15, so it's a little more points for that particular submission. And the final one is a little bit different. It's worth 300 points total. I'm giving you a lot more detail about the specifics that I want to see in it. So this is kind of where you're going in the previous versions. Look to this. This is eventually where you're going to be going with your project. But for this part, there's 3 submissions. There's the Google Doc that you're going to submit, the link to that. There's your peer evaluations, which is worth 30 points out of, or 10% out of the 300. And then there's the presentation that your group needs to create, which is worth 20%. So you're going to submit your project here. And again, there's your rubric for that. Be sure to review that. There's your peer evaluation for this last one. So again, you'll fill that out once for every person in the team, including yourself. And finally, there's the presentation right here that you'll submit. And the presentation needs to be online. Obviously, it's an online class, not face-to-face. I've given you some links to several tools that you can use to create an online presentation. There are certainly others out there. Feel free to try them out and so let's see how they go. If you have any questions or concerns, email me and let's talk about it before it's due. Don't wait till the last second. As far as the presentation, there's a grading rubric for that as well. So I've really tried to tell you, some of the very specifics about what I want to see in your various assignments, semester projects, etc. For the exams, there's 2. The midterm exam is right here, and it's there. If you want to see the instructions, you can see it. I would not start it, because once you start it, you can't stop it. And you only get one shot at it. Everything is password protected. For the midterm, it's an hour and a half. For the final exam, it's 2.5 hours. You really probably won't be seeing these until the weeks in which they're due, those types of things. That's essentially where the exams will be. So this, in your view, should be pretty much blank at this point. When they start coming up, that time of the semester, that's when you should see them. If you need to send a message, you can send them to other team members here, or you can send them to me. Simply create the message you can look up the name, etc. Announcements. Once a week, I try to send out an announcement and kind of keep everybody up to date and up to speed as to what's going on this particular week. Sometimes I get really busy, and it's a few days into the week before I get an announcement submitted. But I try to do that just to kind of keep everybody headed in the right direction and aware of what's due that particular week. PowerPoints, links to the PowerPoints are all right here. They're great to study. Some people really like to use the PowerPoints, others don't, but they're there for you if you need them. In this particular text, the publisher actually made Chapter 1 available as a PDF, so I'm providing it here. I don't have the other ones as PDFs, so make sure you get your text as quickly as possible. But this does kind of give you a little bit of leeway if you happen to be ordering it or something like that. So I appreciate the publishers when they do things like that. There's a few other links down here. You don't necessarily need them, but they are available if you're curious or if you're interested. This is a link to my personal website. I host this on my own server. It's a little cheap $200 server that was bought at Walmart about 11 or 12 years ago. So please be patient with its performance. It will eventually come up. I'm currently in the process of upgrading it. I found a couple of full-fledged servers available on eBay for really a pretty good price, but that's kind of as the opportunity rises, and I'm not having a lot of opportunity as of late. So you're going to see over here to the left, there's the menu bar, there's a link to my Vita, a link to the teaching, a link to my research, service, my bio, and a blog that honestly I just don't use because, again, I lack the time. So the ones that are underlined are actually hyperlinks, and these are all courses that you can click on and take a look at. Social media class that I'm teaching this semester should be very interesting, a lot of fun. My 504 class I'm teaching this semester, and obviously project management. So if you go in here, you're going to see the course description, previous syllabi that I've used in the past. Those same PowerPoints are posted there if you want to access them that way. We've got a couple of sample projects that were done in the past as well. Actually, a couple. There's one sample project done in the past. So here's the project itself. It's a PDF that you can take a look at. And here's a presentation if you're interested. I think this one was actually a narrated PowerPoint. I'm really trying to move away from that. If worse comes to worse, that's all you can do. That's fine. But there's a lot better tools, and a lot of them being cloud-based, that I think do a better job. Video presentations, I don't have a lot there, just some basic stuff of introductions and things that I've had in the past. So these will be updated as I create these new ones. But I have not gone through the process of creating videos for each chapter, and I probably won't because we have a new professor coming in that will probably be taking over this class, and I'll leave that to him. And then lastly, evaluations. I'm not sure how current this is, but last time I went through this and took the time, I updated this so you can kind of take a look and see how my evaluations look. There's also a link to my personal YouTube channel if you're interested in that. There's a lot of videos that I've put out there for different classes and things like that. Some of these ones I'm working through today for my other classes as well. But there's a lot of stuff out there. If if I'm not addressing a particular topic, use YouTube. There's a lot of good stuff out there. There's a guy that I watch a lot, Eli, the computer guy, who has a really solid knowledge on a lot of this stuff from a practitioner's perspective. So there's a lot of very good resources out there. Be sure and take advantage of them. The link to the simulation site, you'll bring this up. Actually, I need to reset that link, I think, to be an external link rather than within Blackboard. But anyway, you'll be able to see that. You can log in, you can register. You'll register. It's very cheap. It's like $8.95 or $9 or something like that. It's very cheap to register for it, and then you'll just go through that whole process. There. So let's go back home here. Your grades, if you want to check your grades, you can check all those right here. Again, that video will show you how to examine the very specific items that you got right or got wrong. I think essentially what happens is you come over here, you'll have, when something's done, you'll have a grade, you click on it, and then you'll have that assignment come up, and it will show the assignment and your grade again, and you click on that grade again, and it shows you the individual items. A word of caution here, your grades will come up, especially like for the quizzes, they will come up immediately once they're graded, because they're quantitative type questions or qualitative type questions. They're multiple choice, true false. These are true false. So there's no ambiguity. There's no essays or anything like that. So those grades will come up immediately. You won't be able to see those items until after the due date has passed. So until after 9:30 on June 22nd, you won't be able to see the individual items on quiz 2 that were missed or that were gotten correct. So be aware of that. That's a setting, the way things are set within Blackboard. So just something to be aware of. Funny videos, something I do in my face-to-face classes. I like to share funny videos at the beginning of class, and so why should you guys miss out? So I've tried to include some of the ones that I've amassed over the years. So if you see something, send it my way. Maybe I'll include it. And then lastly, the Blackboard Help Desk. If you have a question, you don't really like talking to people, you want to go find the answer for yourself, this is a great resource that can answer a lot of things. But to be honest with you, I would go back to the home page and look at the very bottom and call those numbers. Give them a call, because they can usually help you out right over the phone within just a few minutes, and they have really very good hours there. You can usually get a hold of them most of the time, unless you're talking about late at night. So that is it for this semester, for this little Blackboard introduction. Hopefully that kind of helps show you where everything is. You'll be able to navigate around, be able to find things a little bit more smoothly, a little bit more efficiently. I think it's pretty intuitive, but invariably there's I've done something that makes sense to me, but a student sees it differently. So if something like that pops up, let me know. Maybe I can make a change, and we can go from there. Other than that, I'm really looking forward to this semester. I really enjoy teaching these classes. And if you have any questions, shoot me a message through Blackboard. Take care.